Hey folks, Edge here talking about the Viewsonic gTablet. Got a new ROM on here. As you can see, it's quite a bit different from what I normally have on my gTablet. I've been running vegan tab or different flavors of it very successfully for probably the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 months. Been really liking it, but you know, time moves on and new ROMs come out. So there was this new gTabComb that they call it for gTablet and Z-Pads that came out recently. So I figured I'd try it out and see what was so awesome about it. So this right here is gTabComb Beta 3.2 Beta. It's a honeycomb. It's version 3 dot something something. And as you can see, things look a little different. Now what it looks like they've done here is it looks like the folks have taken the ROM from like a Zoom or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, it's awesome. The animations from screen to screen are pretty slick. To add an element, you can go through widgets. And actually will give you a preview of what the widgets are. It's pretty slick. You can go for app shortcuts, wallpapers, and then when you click on the wallpapers, you know, it'll go through the different ones there. And then more. I've never pressed more. Okay, so it's just more stuff. Cool. Alright, so anyway, back to the tablet here. Instead of, as you notice on a lot of the other ROMs for the gTablet, you normally have like the little box thing that's on one of the corners or whatever. That's missing in Honeycomb. You basically have this apps button on the top, then you have your all or my apps. Everything scrolls horizontally. Now you also notice you have the marketplace icon right there in the top right corner of your app drawer, which is pretty slick. The marketplace, which is fully working and beautifully integrated here, works very well. It is the new version. So when we go to it, let's go to the home of Android apps. Let's see if we could do this somehow successfully. There we go. So that's what it looks like. That's home for the marketplace. Pretty cool, I must say. I do like the ROM. It does seem to work very fast. It's very smooth. The first time or two when you reboot it after it's installed, it is a little bit slow. But I think that's because it's still doing some stuff in the background to optimize itself or something. Once you reboot it, everything is great. Now, as you notice, I did things kind of backwards here. Normally I show you how I install it, and then I show you the ROM. Well, this time I showed you the ROM because I've got version 3.2 on mine. But what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to go ahead and install gTabComb Beta 3.3 on my wife's gTablet. Now we are using the version 1.1 bootloader. That's something that's very important for you guys to take note of as you're upgrading the ROMs on your gTablets, which is to make sure that you match the version of bootloader that you have with what that ROM is written for. Mine happens to be 1.1. There are some out there that have 1.2. There are ways to find that out, and I highly recommend and strongly recommend you go to xda-developers.com, look up the gTablet, and then in there they have threads that'll explain to you how to identify whether your gTablet has the 1.1 or the 1.2 bootloader. So make sure you do that. Otherwise, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take my gTablet off the dock here. I'm going to grab my wife's, and then we're going to go ahead and update hers. And I'm going to show you how the install process works, how we're going to get the file over to her tablet, go through the whole thing. So in just a second, I'm going to snap my fingers, and then we're going to have my wife's gTablet right here. Alright, in the snap of the finger, and here is her gTablet. So she's running Vegan Tab, a very capable, very awesome flavor of the ROM. I can't say enough good things about it. It really is pretty awesome. So what we're going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and reboot hers into Clockwork Mod. And the neat thing is you can do that just by telling it to reboot, As soon as it goes back to, when it powers off, and then as it's doing its reboot, then we're going to press the plus volume, and now it says there at the top left, recovery key detected, and now it's going to go ahead and go into recovery mode. There we go. Now one of the things I want to do for her is I'm going to go ahead and back up her install right now, because she has been very happy with gTab 7. It's very stable, it's very functional, there's really nothing wrong with it. The only real reason to change to the gTabComb at this point would be maybe a little bit of speed, some better battery management. It just looks nicer. It's designed for tablets. So this version of Android is the first Android that was designed specifically for tablets, and it definitely shows in the UI. The keyboard is just beautiful for Honeycomb. A couple other things that are kind of a big deal here with gTabComb is that it's overclocked, and the max frequency is adjusted by the battery level. Now you can always use set CPU to adjust the minimum or maximum frequencies, so you can do that. Also, the internal storage and SD card read speeds have been tweaked, so they're faster. The ads in some of the programs are blocked. Like I mentioned earlier with the battery stuff, there's a guy out there named Calculin. He has a battery script that has been already put into this ROM. Data to loop works really well. And also there's some different modules that load at boot, like CIFS, NTFS, UTF-8, and so forth. Now, like I said, I was using version 3.2, the beta 3.2. Now we're going to be installing 3.3. Some of the fixes over 3.2 is that, let me take a look here, 3.2, or sorry, I'm sorry, 3.3. So, they've updated to a newer kernel by Pursuit, who is doing some phenomenal kernel work with these devices. I can't say enough good things about Pursuit. This version runs faster and apparently is able to resolve some Bluetooth tethering issues. Also, there was an import bug that is fixed. The label of the SD card and micro SD card are now basically changed back to what they were in the stock version. And then they've removed some libraries that were not in use in the gTablet to free up some space. So lots of really neat stuff. This is a great ROM, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pause it real quickly to let the process of the backup here take place. And then as soon as the backup is done, well, see, I said that, and look at that. It just all of a sudden speeds right up at the end there. Now it's backing up the cache. And as soon as it's done with that, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mount the gTablet as an external hard drive, so I can copy over the zip file and put it onto the gTablet, so that we could then go ahead and flash the gTablet with it. Once it's done with the MD5 sum here, there we go. So let me see if I have to. Can I zoom back? No, I'll have to move this back a little bit. Alright, so as you well know, if you have a gTablet that you have this USB port on the side, I just went ahead and plugged it in. You heard my computer, it dinged and acknowledged the fact that we connected a USB device. So let's see here. Sorry, I'm adjusting the screen so it's straight here for you guys. Now we're going to go ahead and go to mounts and storage. So we're going to mount USB storage. What that does is it's going to now make the gTablet look like a mass storage device on my computer. Alright, so as you can see here, it showed up as a removable disk. We'll go ahead and open that up. Now, I'm going to make a folder in here And I always do this on every device that I make. It's called ZZ_update. The reason I do that is that way it's going to be the last item on the list, on the folders, when I'm looking through it in Clockwork Mod. Makes it easier for me to do stuff. So I'll go ahead and go into there. Now I'm going to grab... Where is it? Oh, here we go. Here it is, gTabComb 3.3, bootloader 1.1. So I just drag it into the folder there. It's copying it over. It's 110 megabytes. Fairly quick. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it's quick enough. Wait a couple seconds here. Then we will go back to the gTablet and we will unmount my gTablet as a storage device from my computer, and then we're going to go ahead and go right to the update. Alright, there we go. So it is now copied over. I will give it a couple seconds just to make sure everything's okay. It's also never a bad idea to go over here and eject the gTablet. And it said NVIDIA Harmony is how it identified itself here. Here we are, back on the gTablet. We're going to tell it to unmount. And now we are going to go to wipe data and factory reset. So now it's going to delete everything that my wife had on there. She really didn't have much data on there, but whatever data she did have is now gone. We're also going to wipe the cache. I recommend doing this every time you update your ROM if you're going from different types of ROMs. So for example, we're going from vegan to the gTabComb. I would recommend always wiping both. Now, if I was going, like I'm going to do in a little bit, is I'm going to actually go ahead and upgrade from 3.2 to 3.3. I won't do a factory reset, and I'm not going to wipe the cache partition. I'm going to roll the dice and see what happens. Normally, there shouldn't be a problem. If I do notice that there is a problem, I'm getting lots of forced closes or things aren't working right, then what I would do is go back into Clockwork Mod. Then I'm going to try the cache, wiping the cache partition. Then I would go back into the gTablet, see if everything works. If it still didn't work, then I would go in, wipe data and do a factory reset. Also wipe the cache again, and then see, then that should be pretty much like a stock basic install of gTabComb. So we've wiped the cache, we've reset wiped the data and reset it. Now we're going to go to install zip from SD card. We're going to choose a zip from SD card, and here's that ZZ update folder I made. There's gTabComb beta 3.3, bootloader 1.1, and then we're going to verify, yes, go ahead and install it, and there we go. So now we're installing gTabComb beta 3.3. So far, everything is looking good. This is what you should see. I know for a lot of you folks out there who are brand new to this stuff, it can be kind of scary, but honestly, just following the directions that are on xda-developers.com. There's another great site that you can go to called slatedroid.com. Lots of good information there as well. You can't go wrong by going to either of those two. I go to both sites. I view both of them. I'm more active on XDA-developers, though I'll be honest, of late I haven't been as active in posting on XDA-developers because quite frankly I've just been doing so much other stuff. I've got 3 teenage kids. One of them moved off, went to college, you know, just too much to be dealing with hobby type things. So anyway, back to this right here. We're still waiting now. As you can see here, the actual flashing here is it takes quite a bit of time, and then it'll look like it's not doing anything for the longest time. As if you may have noticed that the little yellow status bar was moving very, very slowly, and all of a sudden, boom, it's done. And then it says, install from SD card complete. So, what you want to do is, you don't want to apply it. You want to back up one and then choose Reboot System Now. When you do, the system will reboot. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the USB from the computer. And this is the part where you typically will do, in my opinion, the most worrying, because nothing happens for a long time. You see this Android screen here? It'll stay here for quite a while. I'm not even kidding. This is right here the longest wait you're going to have. Now, I would even argue that of all the ROM updates I've done, and I've done quite a few of them, this is the longest wait I've ever had on any Android device updating from one version to another. Now, have I timed them and then sit there with a stopwatch? No, I haven't. But I will say that on this update to gTabComb is probably the longest I've ever had to wait, and the first time I did it was a little scary because I'm sitting there thinking, great, I just bricked my device. I'm going to have to go through this whole huge recovery process that I'm not too happy with. But that's not the case. It just takes time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, and I'll bring it back the next time the screen changes. Alright, so basically now the next screen that comes up will be this white Android screen. Now, what I missed, because I had a telephone call come in while it was going on and I didn't want to record my phone call, was that there's actually kind of a cool animation how it just, you know, breaks in and you see this like cracking stuff around the word Android. Pretty slick. But it does that once and then you wait. And if I remember correctly, when I installed it before, and then it goes, as you saw, it kind of dimmed down a little bit, and the touchscreen wasn't responding to anything yet. Oh, well, this is faster than it was on my computer. I'm sorry, on my gTablet. So, here we go. Right here, you pick your language from this menu here, and you select Start. Now, this is something I'm very impressed with, and again, something very cool that the previous versions did not do. The very first thing that happens after you pick your language or you select your language is it asks you to choose a Wi-Fi network. That's very slick. So that's the network we do want. There's the nice keyboard that comes up. I'm going to go ahead and pause while I put in my password, and we'll be right back. Okay, and now we'll tell it to connect. Now it's connected, so we're going to select Next. It asks if you want to allow Google to collect anonymous location data and to use location for improved search results. I really don't care, so I'm fine with that. We will set our time zone appropriately. We are -5 here, so let's find Central Time. That's where we are. The time is a little off, so we will adjust that. Oh, it says use network provided time. We'll stick with that then. I just need to find out where on my network the NNTP server is and fix that. Sign in with your Google account. Yes, we're going to do that with my wife's stuff. And again, I'm going to go ahead and pause here while I put in her information. We'll be right back. Alright, so I was able to sign in with her account, and it says backup and restore. We're now saying done. I really like how the little lines do their little moving around. That's pretty neat. Google did a great job with this version of Android with Honeycomb. It's very nice. Obviously made for tablets. And there you go. There's your basic screen. And look at that. Comes up with Vegan Tab, XDA Forums, Picasa, MySpace, Facebook, Amazon. Oh, you know what it did? This is slick. So basically it's taken, it looks like some of her saved shortcuts here from her web stuff and saved it on here. That's pretty neat. That's very neat. If I wanted to, I could add for her the clock and the date. Her bookmarks are already there. We can add maybe the calendar for her home screen. That's all the widgets she has in there right now, it looks like. Unless I just did something wrong. Well, it's just possible, because it looks like it's not responding now. And this is, there we go, it says launcher not responding, we'll tell it to wait, and there we go. So, you got a bit of a chance there to see, you know, it's really pretty easy to set up your home screen. You know, I'm just sitting here kind of moving things around. Now, this is the first time that this gTab has loaded up to this ROM. And remember I told you before that the first time you start it up, it's kind of little laggy, or it's still unpacking stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it alone for now, let it continue doing its thing for her. But that's it. That's all it takes to get the gTabComb 3.3 onto a gTablet. In her case, that was running VeganTab 7. So there you go. I will try to post more, possibly if there's any new features or anything else that comes up. There's a notification already from Facebook. It's picking up more of her data. As you see, it's picking up more stuff and bringing more things in there. So anyway, that's it for gTabComb Beta 3.3. Again, this was Edge, and I thank you very much for watching this video and my other videos. I will continue to put out more of them as more things come out and happen for the gTablet. If there's any other ROMs that are really cool or whatever that I just feel I have to take a look at, I will do that. And as always, I pretty much video them and put them up on YouTube so that other folks can see what it looks like, what the process is, and so forth. So, that's it. As always, Edge out.